I swear coffee is getting harder and harder for me to order at anywhere because I'm not a coffee snob. I enjoy a good coffee, but I don't know. Like I just like when I make coffee at home, I just want a little creamer in there. It's sweet enough. I don't need any sugar. I really shouldn't need anything, but I do because I do. Okay, I'm trying. But like when I go, if I'm in a pinch and I have to get coffee on the go somewhere, like cream and sugar's not exactly what I want. But then like I don't want 17 pumps of some disgusting syrup. No disrespect if that's your order. So I never know what to do. So I end up getting something way too sweet. I think I might just have to bite the bullet and just get black coffee if I'm getting coffee elsewhere. Welcome back. I don't know how to start episodes. How the hell are you? Um, Man, what a week. It was a great week. Life is good. Just smile. Um, I think I'm teetering on like supervillain status, psychopathic. Like maybe I'm the Joker, and that's why I am having such a fun time recently in life and just smiling, even when things seem a little harder than others. None of this has made sense so far, so that's good. No, but life's been good, and I feel not feel bad, but like I'm just happy and things have been going well, so I just keep mentioning to everyone. I'll say this. It's nice to be in a place where when someone asks you how things are, you haven't seen them in a while, and you say things are great and you actually mean it cuz it's it hasn't always been like that. It's actually very rarely been like that. And I'm also such an open book that like if someone asks me, I have no problem being like this is every problem I'm having right now. Don't you want to know about it? When in reality, it's really just like a polite thing to do. Like, oh, how have things been? They're not really looking for your inner secrets and demons. But I have no problem revealing those to people. So it's just nice to have been in a place where it's like, how have you been? And I'm like, I've been great. I cannot complain about a single aspect of life right now. And even the things that I want to improve, I'm just embracing wanting to improve them and like knowing every hiccup is just a part of the process and all that good stuff that everyone says that's real cliche, but it's also true. Something that has come so this past week, I'll little fill in. Scary was in town, which was the best. It was the best. My soul needed to laugh with a friend that close who like the type of friendships that's like I just know I will be in public, something will happen. I know exactly how he feels about this situation without him saying anything, and vice versa. And you only have so many of those friends in a lifetime, and life happens and people move or people move on or just sometimes your paths can be diverted enough to where you don't get to see those people often. So being around him was just so fun, and just we just laughed like it was right back into the olden days, which was great. And just it just was. I knew that I was looking forward to creating stuff with him again, but I didn't know just how much like it really would feed my being. I don't know, that's not true. I did know, but like it was very satisfying that it fed my soul as much as I was hoping it would, and it really did. Um, but it was just great to be with him and just enjoy life the way it's supposed to be enjoyed and all that. And again, my neighbors just got home. Every time this happens when I'm shooting, I just feel so weird for like 2 seconds, as if they can know what's going on or can see and hear, which they can't. I should just shut up and move on. Anyways, that was so fun, and just being in, putting myself in as many creative environments as possible recently has been a real treat. But that amidst other things that have happened recently in life has led me to this whole thought on closure and how I think that the concept of getting closure on something difficult you went through might just be a figment of our imagination. I don't know that it even exists. And I think it's something that we latch onto to hold on to resentment or whatever feeling it might be from this situation that we're now through, thinking like, I'll get over it once I have some sort of closure. But especially if other people are involved, I hate to break it to you, that's probably never going to happen. In a perfect world, in a perfect in your perfect reality, maybe there'd be a situation where after some time and some space, you could sit down with whatever person in whatever situation and both hash it out and get some quote unquote closure and move on with your lives. But that's just not how things go. That's not how people are messy. Situations are messy. It's just we're all flawed. And for whatever reason, I think that, I mean, it takes two to tango in a situation like that. And you have to just be able to accept, like, probably not going to happen and just move on with your life. Let sleeping dogs lie. Let it go. Let whatever it is you're dealing with, or that you're hung up on, or that you can't seem to get a sense of closure, just let it go, because it's probably not going to happen. So what you're doing by waiting for this grand moment to actually get closure in some situation is you're just holding on to whatever negative feeling you had about this situation to begin with. You just got to let things go. And it's easier said than done. I get that. Obviously, it's taken me years to realize that, and it's not like this is just my default way of dealing with things. I have to consciously accept that I can't get closure, because in my mind, I absolutely am an idealist when it comes to human beings, and think like, why can't we just sit down and talk about it as just people, not even as, what we used to be to each other or whatever it might be, just as human beings that are all going through some weird experience. Always will hold it down that, like, in every situation, both parties will and can and have done wrong, for sure. No one's perfect. But especially in situations where you feel like maybe you were wronged more so than the other person, or more than you wronged the other person, listen, you're just never going to, even if you get the closure, it's not going to feel how you think it will feel or how you wanted it to feel. So really, it's a waste of your time, a waste of your energy, a waste of your thought space to put any mental effort towards the idea of closure itself, because you're just probably not going to get it. You're going to probably have to just move on with your life, and you will be better for having done so. Eventually, like, time heals all wounds. Eventually, whatever that situation is will just escape your mind, and it won't be something that you think about like, I need some closure with this person or this situation or this place. If you can get it, great. I mean, of course, if that's really a possibility. But I just think it's more important to accept that it probably isn't a possibility than latch onto the idea that it's something you're holding on to this negative experience for, just for the sake of actually getting over it when you have the chance to get some closure, because that chance probably is never going to come. So, no real. Sorry, dude, this fucking chair and this whole setup. I finally swore. 8 minutes, not bad. Still getting fucked by the algorithm, but now it opens up the vault and I can say whatever I want. But these blinds are bothering me because I know that I'm too close to the wall in this chair, and the chair is huge, and like anytime I move, I just hear the blinds racking together, which means also visually you can see them. I don't need to be saying these things, but yeah, no particular situation came up where that led me to that this week, but it's just something that popped in my head, and something I've talked about with people recently. And I just truly believe that in most situations, you're not going to get the closure you think you or the other person deserve or need. And really, you probably don't need it as much as you think you do anyway. So just move on. Again, easier said than done, but acceptance, perspective. Acceptance and perspective are like two pillars. I think maybe as time goes on, and as I have more time on my hands, or invest any sort of time into the podcast other than just shooting it and editing it, I think maybe I should make like a pillars of mental health, or like a food pyramid type thing. But I feel like acceptance and perspective would be on those pillars, or whatever shape or structure I'm pretending to build in my head right now. Acceptance of what you can and can't control, and the perspective to view every situation in what best is going to serve you mentally and physically and spiritually and all that. But those two things are huge, and I think both of them are needed in the understanding that closure is not always an option, and not only not always an option, but typically not an option at all. Update on the egg thing. This is very important. If you saw my stupid rant about eggs last week, I went back to the grocery store this morning. Surprise, surprise, needed more eggs. It's almost all I eat, or at least like every day for breakfast. And, the eggs break, like always being broken and stuff. I get there and it was just bad timing where the dude was stock. There was 0 eggs in the egg thing, and these fucking blinds. I'm gonna scoot up, but it doesn't stay. See the chair? It's just all fucky right now. Anyways, so I'm at the grocery store and it was just bad timing because it was when the guy was restocking the egg refrigerator, if you will. And so I'm trying to be more assertive and more not even assertive like in a like I need to get what I want way, but more of a like just speak up a little for yourself. It's okay. It's not, the person's not going to hate you immediately, which is kind of an underlying thing that's always been in my head. I'm always timid about those kinds of situations. Something as simple as, hey, I know you're doing your job right now, but do you mind if I sneak in and get a carton of eggs? Anyways, guys stocking them. Not to be a snob or anything, but I do believe in like eating healthy and what you put into your body being super important, especially in the vein of mental health. And so, of course, the organic eggs are all the way on the bottom of this big pallet of eggs that he's loading onto the fridge, into the fridge. So I'm just waiting patiently. Don't want to interrupt the nice gentleman. And so I'm waiting and watching him put. I felt bad. I felt like I was just like, like breathing down his neck. I was in his backswing, so to speak. But whatever. That felt like a better option than interrupting what he was doing. So I was just sitting there. Whatever. It's Sunday. It's cool. I got things to do, but I'm at a point in my life where I don't want to rush and unnecessarily ever. I don't need to be rushing. I'm at the grocery store. Okay, I'm here right now. Let's just accept that it's going to take me an extra minute to get the damn eggs. Anyways, he's loading the eggs. I'm sitting there waiting. And then another guy with a pallet of other grocery items that works at the grocery store turns the corner and just smashes into the thing that was holding all the eggs before they were put onto the thing. And I'm like, I'm seeing it in the flesh because I was watching the guy deal with the eggs, handle them with care, So I'm like, all right, well, it's not like he's not doing his job the correct way. He's not the responsible one for the eggs always being broken every time I open the first fucking thing. But sure enough, I stood there long enough to see the culprit, and it was just this dude wheeling other groceries around and just smashed into it. And I thought about being like, don't worry, they're just, because he apologized to his coworker, and I wanted to be like, don't worry, they're just eggs, no big deal. It's just the one thing you probably shouldn't run into in this grocery store. But it was funny. Finally, the guy noticed me waiting there, and he was like, he noticed that I'd been there for a while, but now he really noticed that I was still just waiting on him. And I was like, don't worry, I'm just a big fan of your work. I'm just here watching you, which is also a funny concept of like, they used to have those like cut that meat commercial. Remember Peyton Manning had that cut that meat commercial for like Allstate or something? Meat, like it was a play on the fact that like, people come to watch him do his job. So he was like rooting for people doing everyday normal jobs. So I thought it was funny to just be like, I'm just a big fan of your work. I'm just admiring. I hope that he didn't. He didn't. He left, and we had a good chuckle about it. But sometimes with those situations, like I know where I'm coming from with it. I'm just making a joke, no disrespect to your job, but no, it's a very mundane activity that typically people wouldn't want to watch for entertainment. So it's a funny joke, but I didn't want him to like take it the wrong way, which he didn't. So that was fun. I just felt like I needed to update you on the eggs because it's just an ever-growing trend in my life. Apparently, that these eggs just these broken shells are just in my head all the time. Imagine I just start going crazy and like I just see eggs in my head, which is funny. I'm bald, so I'm an egghead. Anyway, so the eggs, yeah, that was good. Ate them, delicious. Actually, to be honest, they weren't great eggs. Am I 1,000 years old? Like I really was eating the eggs thinking like, because they're cage free, these particular eggs. I hate that I'm now investing another 15 minutes of my life talking about eggs at length, but I can't help it. They're cage free, like they're brown eggs, but they don't say organic anywhere in the package. I don't believe they're organic cage free. Again, not to be a snob, but these things matter. And the taste is absolutely different. And it wasn't that dark, like orange reddish yolk. It was like kind of a normal yellow yolk. And it just, they didn't hit great this morning. And it wasn't me because I make a perfect scrambled egg every time. What else is new? Not in Outside of the world of eggs, what else is new? As a creature who is often solitary in my current way of life, um, but as someone who does have a bit of like the social butterfly gene in him, hate that I just said that term, but I'm like always right in between being like super introverted and also yearning for human contact. So I, again, hung out with Scary and Casey this past week, which was great. But all on top of that, my homie Zach Frank, the art maker, um, had a show. He had I don't know. Sorry, the neighbors are moving around again. Um, he had a the opening of his problems exhibit, and it was incredible, and he's been working on it for years, and we moved out to LA together, and that was like the birth of him doing this particular series, and that was almost 10 years ago, and he started really before that too. So it was just awesome. I'm just so proud of him and how far he's come in his career and his journey as an artist and as a human. um, so it was great to be there and support him, but it was also just great to be in a setting with other cool people and like some friends I haven't seen in a while. I met a bunch of really cool new people, which was awesome. But I had an interesting conversation with, shout out Denise. I don't know if you're watching, but she was just so sweet, and she came up to me, and it was like, I don't want to go too far. I'd like, I'm just a human being, but she seemed like she could be becoming a fan of mine and stuff, and she like recognized me from that's I don't know her outside of this world of the podcast and music and stuff. So it was great to meet her, and just she had really dug into a lot of my stuff, and even like April 94 stuff. It was just really great to meet her. She made my whole night. And but her and I were having a conversation, and it unlocked something in my head, I think, because she's a very social person. She is very extroverted and can talk to anyone, and I always love people like that. But I also am I lean to be introverted, and I said that to her, and she was like, "Really?" And I realized in that moment, like, I think I've just been making it up in my head that I'm an introvert, because I do like talking to people. And when outside of me having a panic attack in public, which, listen, it happens sometimes, I I'm good in social situations. Like I can talk to someone and banter and go back and forth, and I don't like unnecessary small talk, and I think maybe I get anxious in those situations. The fuck is that noise? I get anxious in those situations and don't really know how to like get out of them when I don't want to be in them. But when it's a good conversation, I'm so I'm not bad. And so it just having that conversation with her and her being like, "Oh, really?" Surprised, as in my front facing persona to this person was polite and kind and conversive. And I realized that, like, oh, their perception of me is that I am a social person, or I am more extroverted than introverted, because I was liberal in the conversation we were having. And it just made me real. Dude, the people are putting garbage directly behind my head right now. It made me realize, like, I need to embrace the person I want to be and not the person I think I am, especially in any negative thought I have about myself, or any way that my brain skews in a way that, like, I don't really want to be that way. I just kind of have been that way and think I am that way. Like, I think that I'm introverted, but when I'm put in a social situation and I'm, feeling good about life or myself, like, I have no problem being everyone's best friend. And I enjoy that version of myself much more than the anxious, timid, kind of scared version of me that sometimes is present in social situations. So it's like, no, rather than view myself as being an introvert who sometimes uh, catches a fire and can actually have a conversation with someone that I don't know, I should be viewing myself as someone who likes having conversations with people I don't know and thrives in them. And then occasionally my social battery runs out, or I'm a little anxious or feel a little off. And, I'm not in that space to like be the better version of myself, or the version I prefer more. But it really was like, it just clicked in my head, like, why am I, it's, and this context is not the only place where I'm now realizing like my perception of myself so so much, excuse me, let me try to rephrase this so it actually makes sense. So much hangs on my own perception of myself and my personality. And the more I perpetuate things that I don't really like about myself, or ways that struggles I might have sometimes, the more I dwell on them, the more they become more ever present in my consciousness and set me up to relapse to them, or for that to be my default, when really all those other beautiful positive things about myself that I love should and can and will be my default if I let them be, rather than dwelling on the very few things about me that I'm like, I don't really like this. Or again, just like I sometimes think I struggle in social situations, and then I talk to my friends or like my family about that, and they're like, I don't want to toot my own horn, but they're like, no, you're great in that spot. So it's just we all view ourselves in the way we view ourselves, and it's often very different than the way the world views us, and often the way the world views us is much kinder than the way we view ourselves. So I'm trying to embrace the parts of me that I love and know are there, but sometimes I hide them for no reason underneath the parts of me that are also there that I don't like as much, and that I would rather spend less time being like. So that's how my brain works. A nice conversation with this fantastic woman just sent me down a spiral, like a healthy, good, proper spiral of this kind of thing, of like, I just need to be that version of me more often. I don't need to be anything. I just need to be me. But it's clear to me that I'm happier when I'm that version of myself, and the other version doesn't really need to be here anymore. I don't need to be timid or scared or nervous or anxious about talking to someone. Um, again, I think that maybe I just have overblown how often it really is like that anyway. So I just need to focus on continuing to try to be myself, and also be the. Sorry, I have to adjust this chair because I think these blinds are going to be a real issue. I have to just be the best version of myself that I can be, and the version that makes me most happy and healthy. If the version of me that made me most happy was like a shitty, like, bad guy version, then that wouldn't be good. But I like this version. I like being happy and socializing and talking to new people and stuff. It's fun. And again, it's fine that sometimes it just ain't your day to do that. Sometimes you're just not in the mood. That's completely fine. But I'd say a good 75 to 25 rule, and hopefully more than that. Maybe 90-10. Let's shoot for the stars. 90% of the time being happy and not anxious, and not letting that part of my psyche take over that's kind of just like negative energy that I'm putting on myself for no reason. 90% not that, 10% that when I slip up, because I'm human and imperfect. All right, what else we got? Art show was sick. Shout out to Zach. Very proud of him. Very happy for him. Just, yeah, keep doing you. Because that's, again, I just keep coming back to that. And it's so obvious and important. Like, all the opportunities that I've been getting recently in my personal and professional life have simply come from being like the most authentic version of me. And it's been real refreshing. And I think, again, like, not to blame other people, but I think that I was in a situation where I was not being myself most of the time to like serve someone else. Again, not that they consciously asked this of me. I never want that. I never want to like put my problems on someone else, or like, I'm not blaming the other person or other people at all for anything in my life. I'm a grown ass man, or at least I'm a boy dressed as a grown ass man. Actually, not even really dressed as a grown ass man. I'm wearing a band t-shirt and sweatpants and a hat with a football game on it. But I am in the body of a grown ass man at the very least. It's no one else's fault for any issues that I have at this point in my life. I'm certainly mentally capable of grasping what I can do better and all that stuff. But I was in a situation where at least I felt that I couldn't be myself most of the time, and nothing came out of it in any aspect of life. And now that I'm not in that situation, and I've been embracing being myself more and more and more, I it just feels like I've unlocked a whole new world. A whole new world. Mm-mm. Yeah. Fuck, whatever. What else do I got on the docket for today? Just let it go. Closure's not always possible. Embrace who you want to be, not who you think you are. That was pretty well worded, can't lie. Meeting people is fun. Kind of already addressed that. Update on the eggs, did that. Art show, did that. Fuck, I'm out of ideas. Um, the depersonalization segment. No, I don't want to call it that. It's not a television show. Um, Last week's episode about depersonalization, a lot of people have hit me up about it, and I'm interested in starting maybe a Discord channel about it, almost like a support group. I don't really know that would be. A group of people who also deal with similar issues, especially in that space, because it's such a unique, weird thing. And those are, every time I post about it, it's the most engagement I get out of people coming out of the bushes and trees and forests being like, me too, or I got over it, or I'm really struggling with it. And I've been in a place where I've had to look stuff up online and been so intimidated by everything I find because it's not what I want to hear, that I'd like to create some sort of place where we could all talk about it. Not constantly, because I don't think it's good for that either, but in the moments where, like, I don't know, just like a supportive group of people where, like, someone gets a win and it's like, word, good for you. Or if someone's really going through it, we can share what's been working for us or what hasn't worked for us, or just be there for them as other people also dealing with this very strange affliction. So I think I'm going to try to contact as many of the people as I can that commented or liked those videos, shared it, whatever, message me about it, and just be like, hey, I'm gonna start this thing. Would you be interested? No one's got to feel pressured to post about it. No one's got to feel pressured to post in it. No one's got to feel pressured to do anything. Just if you think, doesn't that sound like a countdown for like the beginning of a old film reel? Sorry. Maybe I have ADD also. If you, yeah, no pressure to post it or anything like that, but just I think it would be a helpful thing. I know it would help me. Maybe selfishly, it would be cool to talk to other people about it. But one of the things about it is like it expands your mind, and you, like, I don't think people think the same as, like, I think people who have depersonalization think very differently than people who don't have it. So to have a bunch of people together talking about life and shit in that way, I think would be really helpful. So I'm going to maybe start that this week and try to get as many people as involved as possible. I just want to make the world a better place. No, but honestly, it's like I rebranded this podcast because I didn't only want to talk about mental health, but like it's really been all I've been talking about. And sometimes things just happen the way they're supposed to. Like, I've realized that I think maybe I could be a good resource to some people. And also, I'm still, like, it's a forever journey to have a healthy basis of mental health. So it's like something I'm constantly working on. And I think that's why it's easy for me to talk about more so than other stuff. Uh, and also, again, the no guest thing. Like, when I have a guest, we won't just talk about that. But, you know, so it's something I don't want to always be talking about, but at the same time, like, I know how hard it is when your mental health is in shambles, that like I enjoy the few people that every time I post something will reach out and say like, I really like what you said, or this really helped me through the day. Like, that's literally what keeps me doing this thing that is nothing but work right now, and not really, like, I'm not making money off of it by any means, and it takes a ton of time to shoot this shit and like edit it myself and all that stuff. But it's like those little moments of like knowing that I at least slightly impacted someone's day. It makes it all worth it. Not to be like, I don't want to sound conceited or anything or big headed. Like, I'm not doing anything revolutionary by any means, but it just feels nice. And I hope those people realize what that's doing for me too. Because as much as your motivation should always come from within and you shouldn't be motivated by outside factors or other people's opinions of you, when it's a nice opinion, when it's a genuine compliment, it really can keep you going for a while. And so, like, I appreciate anytime anyone says anything nice about me. Uh, and I don't latch onto those things or like base my whole perception of myself around them. But it's a really nice thing to do. It's nice to say nice things to people. It's nice to go the extra mile and like do something that really doesn't require much effort for you just to brighten someone else's day. And if as corny as it fucking is, it's really important. Like I really think that like that's the way we can get this whole crazy society shit back on track is just like those simple acts of kindness like that we literally learn about this in PSAs in fucking middle school and high school of just like a smile, smiles are contagious and all this cheesy shit, but it's like true. Like as you start growing up and going through life, you realize how much like we're all fucking struggling in one way or another, some more than others. But like the human existence in and of itself is a struggle. It always has been and always will be. Like there's always something going on that you have to deal with, and sometimes we just don't feel equipped to deal with it. So it's like those little moments of happiness and kindness that we can give to other people are what like it infinitely expands. And on the converse, it's doing something shitty to someone or like causing someone pain for the sake of causing someone pain or hating on someone for the sake of hating on someone. It's just like unleashing this fucking black cloud of negative energy on humanity, and it just also exponentially grows. So it's like fuck that, just do something nice for someone today or tomorrow or every day. And it doesn't have to be like it can be some, it could be buying food for a homeless person, or it could be something that doesn't cost any money. Just fucking shooting someone that you haven't talked to in a while a random text like, hey, thinking about you, miss your fucking laugh or your energy or something. Hope you're doing great. That person's day will be made by that 100%. And how easy is that? So even if we have to like schedule these things in, like, all right, on Tuesdays, I'm going to reach out to people I haven't talked to in a while and just say, hey, what's up? Hope you're doing well. Anything helps. Small acts of kindness added up over time will improve the entire mental health of society. I don't know. The first half of that sentence was like, oh, I'm onto something great. And then the second half was complete dog shit. But it's still true. A whole new world. Do 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 do. I believe I'm going to karaoke this week. I think I've only been to karaoke one time. I was on tour in Chicago, and we performed for more people at the karaoke bar than we did the venue, which was also the same place. Like the back of the venue was karaoke, and the front was like a bar with a stage. Good times. But I think that's the real only time I've done karaoke, and it's fun. It's like I'm excited because I've only done it once, but like I like the idea of it. Like it's a good time. You're just laughing, singing, having fun. But even as a performer, it's like a little nerve wracking. It's kind of like, ooh, I don't know if I want to go up there. It'll be fun though. I'm excited. I don't know what song I'm gonna sing yet. If you have any suggestions, let me know. A whole new world. See, I switched the key because before I was going a whole new world, and then I went something else, some other thing. I don't know how I feel about key changes in songs. It like keeps the energy going. I mean, all like 70s and 80s music was real big. That like the fourth time you heard the chorus, it was like a half step up. But like I was listening to some Stevie Wonder song, and actually I liked how he did it, but it was like he changed the key like 3 or 4 times at the end of the song, and it was interesting. But sometimes I'm not a huge fan. Sometimes maybe it's just because it was so popular that now I feel it's a little bit not cheesy. It does do what it's designed to do, which is like propel the energy just that much more without adding much more to the chorus. but I've never done one. It just, I feel like it seems like a lot of work, and maybe that's my resistance to it. I'm just resisting the fact that it takes a little more effort than I really want to put in, and that's ridiculous. Key changes, a whole new world, eggs. We've covered it all so far. I'll tell you what, I enjoy having fun. I haven't drank this I haven't drank as much as I did this week since my early 20s. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if alcohol changed, if I changed, if I just, my tolerance is not what it used to be. I'm a little bit older now. I don't know what it is, but holy shit, it fucking knocked me out. Like, drink responsibly, don't do anything stupid, all those disclaimers and stuff. But I'm a human being. And we got absolutely shit faced a couple nights last week, and it was like a 2-day just dreadful hangover, and just so not worth it. I know it's so like, I don't mean to be. I'm not a party pooper, certainly, and again, I do still have fun going out having a good time with the fellas. I mean, it's really not much better in the world. But Jesus H Christmas tree, I haven't felt that bad in a long time, and it reminds me of why I haven't been drinking. It wasn't even like a conscious decision to not drink as often. I just haven't, and I'm not regretting it one bit. I'm excited that nothing real fun is planned over the next long stretch of time, so I have no reason to like go out and feel that way. And of course, I don't need to drink that much when those situations arise. But letting out the devil every once in a while, I think, is okay. If you are a responsible person and, within reason, you don't need to be acting like a fucking idiot. We're not children anymore. But, like, man, oh man, I was hurt. I was hurt. For, like, again, the next day I get, and sometimes it might linger into that second day, but, like, to still feel dreadful on the second day after drinking I was just like, dude, this is ridiculous. Not for me. And it always gives me anxiety. Like, I think everyone gets a bit of anxiety when they're hungover, but like, as someone who deals with it even when not drinking or hungover, it's certainly exacerbated. That's what I was just going to say. Exacerbated. So man, I'm glad I don't need to drink for anything coming up. Again, I don't need to drink for anything. I don't want to, just being a person. I don't want to caveat everything I say because, like, it might rub some of them. This is how I think, okay? My bad. I know I don't have to drink for everything, but, like, I do enjoy it, and I'm not an idiot, so I can be responsible. Not that if, addiction is tough. I'm not saying you're an idiot if you have struggles with that stuff. But I'm saying I am lucky enough, blessed enough, that that's not an issue for me and hasn't ever been an issue for me, that I think I have the leeway to have fun every once in a while in that way. But it's really not worth it at all, to be totally honest. It's not. This is fun to me. Can I teach you something quickly about music that I find fascinating? If I play these two notes at the same time, this is a C and a B, okay? Dissonance. Doesn't sound good. But these two chords, this chord I'm going to play has both of those notes in it, and you won't hear that disgusting dissonance. It'll just be beautiful. Isn't that interesting? Listen to this again. That's terrible. Those notes are still there with what I'm about to play. God, I love it. I love music, dude. I love nerdy shit like that. It's just, that's incredible to me. They harmonize together perfectly once you add the other ones. All right, so I'll start with these two notes, okay? C and B. They're right next to each other. They're a half step away, so they do sound dissonant when played together. Meaning, like, because they're so close to being the same note, but they're not, your ear just goes, what the fuck is that? But, okay, ready? As soon as those other notes are added, the dissonance kind of disappears or dissipates. God, I love it. God, I love a minor seventh chord. It's not even a minor seventh chord. Is it? No, it's just a seventh chord. I don't know anything anymore, man. I need new mugs. I've already said it before. Send me a mug. I'm getting sick of it. I got 2. There's only one of me in this damn place, but I do miss a dishwasher. I do miss a dishwasher because it just sucks to have to wash. At this rate, I just need 1 fork, 1 knife, 1 spoon, 1 plate, 1 mug because I have to wash all of it right away anyway, so it doesn't sit in the sink. You know, the dishwasher is at least like storage for dirty dishes for the week or whatever. I do miss not have, or I miss having one. Also, oh my god, listen, there are way bigger issues in the world, but I've lived in Koreatown for 2 years, and it just finally now hitting me. I fucking hate parking. I hate not having an assigned parking spot. I hate having to rely on street parking. I hate that I work from home sometimes and have to model my day around when I have to move my car from one side of the street to the other because of street sweeping. I hate that I live in a shitty enough area that if I park my car 2 streets away, there's a very good chance that my catalytic converter gets stolen or my windshield gets smashed in. I hate that if I get home past a certain hour at night, I will be driving around for 40 minutes, not fucking with you, 40 minutes to find a fucking parking spot. Ooh-wee. It's been driving me fucking nuts lately. And for the longest time, seriously, since I've lived in K-Town, I've been like, whatever, it's fine. Shit sucks, dude. Not K-Town. K-Town's great. There's a lot of great parts about it. But the parking thing sucks. It's honestly it's bullshit. It's like first I just feel like if in any residential area there's not a lot of like there's apartment buildings, there's no driveways, whatever it is, I feel like it should all be permitted. It should all be permit parking and have paid spaces on the other streets on the main roads where people can park to go to church and go to the market or whatever the fuck they're doing up the road from me that they have to be parked here constantly all the time. It's unbelievable. It's truly starting to really like I'm a pretty patient person, generally speaking. I really am. It's wearing my patience super thin lately. I just can't stand having to drive around to again model my day after where I'm gonna park is ridiculous. Oh yes, but I'm alive and I am doing great. So if that's my biggest problem, things ain't that bad. But it fucking sucks. That's like other than the fact of like having a yard and like living in a community where it feels like a community. Although like I guess if I got involved more, it could feel more like a community to me, my neighborhood, but I just don't live in the greatest neighborhood to be quite honest. And you know, other than those things, I miss living in the suburbs for reasons like if I'm going somewhere, there's a parking spot, there's a parking lot. I don't have to worry about it. You know, I don't have to worry about my car getting broken into. I don't have to worry about any of the things that I have to worry about on a day-to-day basis living in a big metropolitan city. But then also, like, there's something to do every night. There's a great restaurant on every corner of the city. There's cool museums and even free shit to do, and the beach and the sun and opportunity aplenty still, even though, you know, people have plenty of bad things to say about LA and a lot of them are warranted. All of those things still exist here. And I guess that's what keeps you coming back or keeps you from pulling the ripcord and being like, I got to get the fuck out of here. There are times I go back and forth. I really do. But, you know, I'm still here and it's crazy to me now that I've lived here long enough that like, I think soon, I don't know the exact math, maybe next year, maybe this year, maybe 2 years from now, I will have lived here as long as I've lived anywhere in my life, which is crazy to me. There's that noise again. Jezusa. That's a Polish thing. I've said it twice this episode, so if you're wondering, I don't even know if it's really Polish. My Polish grandparents and Polish side of the family always say Jezusa for like Jesus or like Jesus Maria, which is like I guess it almost sounds Spanish, but it's like, Jesus, Mary, and then Matka Boska, which I could never find a translation online. So this might just be a my family thing, but I think that means Mother of God or something. It's funny that all the things I know are just exclamations of pure anguish, like Mother of God. Let me say this. Again, not fishing for compliments or being conceited, but when you get a compliment that like you're glowing or you look happy or you look great, as in, healthy and like things are going well for you, nothing beats it. Nothing beats that. And conversely, we've all been in a place where we run into someone we haven't seen in a while and they don't look so great. And not even in a shitty, judgy way, but sometimes it's like, holy shit, they don't look good. And that's sad because we've all been at both points in life. But the motivation that it gave me to hear a compliment of being like, you look great, it's like, sheesh, me, this little thing or this old thing. It just is nice. And again, not just in the physical realm, but in the like, sorry to be corny, but your energy. Like you just, there's the picture I posted this week. I don't think I've smiled that genuinely in years, especially not in a picture. Like, for example, at Zach's last art show, there's a picture of me and I'm like, I thought I was okay, but looking back at it, it was a pretty shitty period of my life. And then I look at that other picture and I literally never smiled so big. And a couple people said to me that night, you look good. I'm so happy for you, all that stuff. And it just was like, fuck yeah, dude. I am doing okay. See how I caveated that right away? I'm like, I was going to be like, I'm doing great. I'm the shit. I'm the greatest. Always keep humble, bro. I'm okay. But things are going pretty good and it's great. It's great to have people notice. Again, don't live off that. That can be dangerous. And it's artificial, it's fleeting. Compliments are very fleeting. Also, the person, you could turn around and they could look at their friend and be like, I didn't even mean that. I just wanted to get him out of my face. It's just, and fuck it, embrace it when you get them. I mean, it feels nice. I've been I've been just developed a stutter. Or maybe I'm stroking out or something. I've been saying to people, two new phrases I've been saying to people. I didn't invent them, but just I've worked them into my lexicon. Is I like this one's a little corny, but it's not bad. It's like, I like your energy, or like, you have a great energy, something like that. Because it's like, if you mean it genuinely, which I wouldn't say it if I didn't, it's like a nice thing to say to someone. And the other one that I it's funny because I just said both of these things to someone, and if they see this, they're going to be like, oh, he's a fucking hack. The other one is, I'm glad our paths crossed. I like that one. Or I hope our paths cross again. Because, like, I've always thought we should normalize, again, another thing I hate that I just said out loud. We should normalize meeting someone, and rather than be like, have a nice day, being like, have a nice life. Because chances are, in a chance encounter of just meeting someone randomly in public, you probably never see that person again. So I wish it was okay to be like, because if anytime you say have a nice life, typically it's like fuck off forever. But I mean it in the way of like, we'll never see each other again. This was fun that our paths crossed. See, I brought it back. And I hope you have a nice life, because it seems like you deserve one. So I've been saying both of those quite a bit recently, and I like it. I like thinking like we're both on our own human journey, and somehow in this moment our paths crossed, and it's very pleasant experience for both of us at this moment. So I'm happy our paths crossed. I shouldn't be giving away the sauce like this, but I kind of wouldn't mind if it caught on. The couple things I just mentioned, especially have a nice life. Yeah, so that's where I'm at with things. I'm just saying the same thing. I'm just recycling, regurgitating shit that I say to one person to another. And I told you last episode that the piano was going to go downhill. Although I guess I gave him music lesson today, which was fun. Ooh. All right, so let's dissect what I just played. We got an E. We got a G sharp. It's just like a major. Then we got the C in here, which would be the flat fifth, and then like the flat whatever sharp whatever fucking F sharp up here. That's an interesting chord. I wish I was smart enough to immediately know exactly what it is, but I'm going to use this the second the podcast is done to create something cool. What would that resolve into? Something like maybe that. I like doing things that are a little like all right, I'm going to do it with the pedals so they sustain, but imagine that I'm playing this, right? Kinda. But with the pedal, like doing it out of order, not arpeggiating just up the chord and doing it like every other. So it'd be like, I just like how that sounds. That might not have made sense. I'm not a great teacher. I've come to realize that over the years. This might be one of those things like I was talking about earlier, though, where I'm like, I'm not this, I'm this. In reality, I'm not. I'm actually the other thing that I would rather be. I'd rather be a good teacher than not a good teacher. Just like I'd rather consciously accept that I like being in social settings rather than saying I'm introverted, because typically it really is more that I am an extrovert and not an introvert, but I just always identify with being an introvert because that's what I've trained myself to believe. But to that subject, I always say that I'm not a great teacher, and I just think that it's because I understand things in the way that I understand them, and my brain is all over the place all the time, so it's kind of hard to put into words what would be understandable for another person. I'm good at like conversing, like, and like talking to people about, I don't know, like this, like mental health stuff maybe, or like life shit, but teaching like a skill that I know how to do, I learned it in some defunct, fucked up way in my own head. I forced it to make sense to myself, not in the way that it probably would make sense to most people. So it's always kind of difficult for me to pass on knowledge in that way. So I'm sure that my explanation of chord structure today didn't make much sense, but I tried my best. I hope I remember what I just played, though. Of course I did. Come on, dude, you're a G. See, like, that's just, I don't know, it just sounds so pretty to me. Ooh, and then you just add that other. Got a little Arabian vibe to it. That's good stuff. How long since you've been away? I've been listening to Sundays. I mean, I listen to it constantly pretty much, but especially on Sundays, I love blaring 70s soul music, and that song just popped in my head for some reason because I was listening to it earlier. It's so fucking good. I love that music. That's like, we've all got certain things that just feed our soul, and that's, I mean, it's literally soul music for me, but that's one of them for me. It just nourishes me. It puts me in a good headspace. It brings back good vibes from my past, and like, we should all embrace those things about us. They're unique for everyone. We all have our own versions. Some are a little more universal than others. Music being one of them. Just the music in itself being something that most people have some sort of connection to. That always confuses me. Like, I get people who are like, I'm not a really big, I mean, I don't, because I am, but like, I can at least wrap my head around someone being like, I'm not a big movie person, you know, maybe they're just, their attention span, or they just don't, I don't know. I don't get it on a personal level, but I get it on a maybe for you level. But music, like, you ever met someone that's like, I just don't really listen to music, or not even don't listen, because I don't listen as often as I used to, but like that they just, their appreciation for it is only the most base level or even less than that. I just don't get it. To me, music is so universal. It's in everything. It's in every commercial you've ever seen. It's in every movie, every television show. It's on at the store when you go. You turn on your car, the radio turns on. It's everywhere. You walk down the street, you hear a church bell from a mile and a half away. Like, It's everywhere. I love that it's so universal. It opens the door for me to be part of those other things I like via music. Like I love movies and television. Hint, hint. Got a couple things cranking that I'm not allowed to really talk about. And so to be able to enter those spaces through my musical background is awesome. How long? How long has this podcast gone? 55 minutes strong. First day in a while, I drank a second cup of coffee, and I don't know if you see, but I'm clutching my chest because I think I might be having a heart attack. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, man, I'm just grateful. I'm still grateful, still holding on to all the gratitude stuff. I got to get back to a little more about actually writing it down every day, but still always recalibrating every thought I have based on that. Gratitude. Okay, what did we have before? Perception, acceptance, gratitude is another third pillar. Pillars good for that. I'm sure. I mean, there's probably somewhere an actual thing of like the pillars of mental health, but I'm making my own. And so far, those are the three I got. Chime in the comments section, hit like and subscribe, and with your pillar. Pillars is not even just mental health. Like it's just about a happy life. I think perspective, acceptance, and what did I just say? Perspective, acceptance, gratitude. Gratitude. I'm grateful that I somehow am stringing this out to the last 4 minutes again. I'm sorry. I got a couple more topics. I thought I'd talk about some of that stuff longer, but sometimes I just don't got much to say after I said what I needed to say. You feel me? Yeah, there's just some this was a great week for like remembering how much I love people. 'Cause every once in a while you just the things you see mostly online. Dude, it's driving me nuts. I gotta just fucking delete them all and go off the grid, I think, soon. But it's mostly online. You see stuff that like hurts your perception of people. But then I was just around the people and I'm like, oh, we're great. People are awesome. Like they're funny and smart and happy and smiley and, warm-hearted and accepting. At least maybe just trying to be around, or I'm lucky enough to have a lot of people like that in my life, even if I'm not super close with them. But also meeting new people and like immediately hitting it off, that's always just a refresher and like how beautiful life can be. I'm just always trying to remind myself of that because I can slip so quick. That's the thing about everything I say to you is that I am also so flawed and human, just like everyone, that like I can slip back down to thinking everything is the worst and life is not fair and not worth it and all that shit. So like I have to talk about this stuff once a week at the very least to just remind myself of all the things that I have to be grateful for, like I said, and just all the things that I like and enjoy about life because there's a lot of them. It's not just making music or being creative. It's not just my friends or family. It's not just fucking baseball, which by the way, dude, I know it's spring training, but the boys are raking right now. It's I guess it's just all of these things, I also fuck it. I was about to get deep again. Don't care. This is way more important. Dune 2, incredible. Incredible. Anyone that has a negative thing to say about it is grasping at straws or just trying to be that guy. I'm not saying you can't critique it if you feel like it, but I have yet to see a critique that I'm like 100%. Even if you say it's too long, it's like, dude, that's what it's supposed to be. Just accept it for what it is. It got edited down to that because that's what they said was the best final product, and it's fantastic. That pretty white boy can fucking act. I'll tell you, Timothée Chalamet was great in it, I thought. Because it really takes his... I don't want to spoil... I'm not going to say anything. It's a remake of a book and a movie that's been out for a million years. What kind of bug is that, dude? I don't fuck with that bug. Bug just flew in the screen. I might have to end early to my bug issue. No, it was so great. I'm not gonna no spoilers or anything. it just was fantastic. I feel like it's especially one of those things. It's like that's what you go to the movies for. Was a movie that good? Like I'm not a huge action movie fan. It's not really an action movie though. It's like it's sci-fi, it's drama, it's action, it's a love story. It's everything that you go to see a movie for. It has incredible directing, incredible cinematography, tremendous acting. I saw someone say something about Christopher Walken being the emperor and that they didn't like. I get that sometimes, like Christopher Walken is Christopher Walken in every movie, but I love him, so maybe I'm slightly biased. But it didn't take away from his role at all to me because he's that older, like OG, like speaks in that way, and it kind of fit perfectly in my head. I really thought that like there was almost no flaws with the movie. Highly recommend seeing it in theater. Also, I'm not a huge fan of the like vibrating seats and water in your face or even 3D really or like got to tell you the truth, I'm not the biggest IMAX guy. It's just almost too much. I just want to watch the film and appreciate it for what it is. I don't need like, that much stimulation and shit. I don't know. It's not that IMAX isn't cool. It's incredible. But also if you don't have the right seat in an IMAX theater, it's I don't want to have to go like this to see what the fuck's going on in the movie. But I loved it. Really recommend. Highly recommend. Also just watch the New England Patriots documentary series that's on Apple Plus. I'll always hold it down. Apple Plus, most underrated of all the streaming apps. That's been great. Another new curb tonight. Listen, I'm just naming things I'm happy for, and that's okay because life's been pretty great. I appreciate you listening to this episode if you made it this far, and just stay tuned. A lot of cool things are happening, and the only thing holding me up from releasing 6 billion new songs right now is just wanting to do it the right way. So, if you're anticipating new stuff from me, just know it's absolutely a lot of it's coming. It's just a matter of when and how, because I want to do it so that you're not the only person that hears it, and so that I'm not the only person that hears it. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for breathing again today. Breathing is pretty tight. I'm still worried about the egg situation. I just know that now this is going to follow me everywhere for the rest of my life. The first carton of egg is always going to be broken. Meeting people's fun. Be yourself. Embrace the parts of you that you want to be, not the parts of you that you think you are. And take care of yourself. We're going to be all right, baby. See ya.